Hey, my name is David Olds, and I have done thousands of real estate transactions, and now I own and operate the largest transactions company in the country. We're going to be doing a series of videos here talking about how to get started in wholesaling and how to grow your business. So if you're interested, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for these videos. Let's get started. So the question that I get asked a lot, and I wanted to address it here, do a video response, is what is the future of wholesaling? Obviously, wholesaling has been around for a long time. It's not new. Certainly new people come into our industry discovering it because we have so many great influencers out there. But, what is the future of wholesaling? And in our role as transaction coordinators, meaning we do all of the closings for some of the biggest investors in the country at Easy REI Closings, we definitely see things. We see the whole country from about 40,000 foot, and we're very aware of laws and regulations that are changing nationwide. And it's my opinion that, wholesaling will go away in the next 3 to 5 years. Like, it's done. Like, close up shops. You're not going to be able to do it anymore. And let me explain that, why I think that. One, I think we've seen a lot of laws and regulations come out banning wholesaling or doing their best to curb it. So the great thing about wholesaling is it's a very low barrier of entry, right? You can watch a couple YouTube videos and go figure it out. So that's awesome. It's the great equalizer, literally, it doesn't matter what color you are, what ethnicity, fat, tall, skinny, short, whatever. Everybody can come into wholesaling and make a lot of money, like a lot. We have clients who make hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. So that's the good thing about wholesaling. What's happened, in the last 10 years as wholesaling has really blown up and gotten popular, right? There have been people who have bad intentions who come in and just screw people over, take advantage of them. And, as a wholesaler, we're real estate professionals in a sense, and, we really understand the system. And there are people who are just and take advantage of old people and, people who may not be quite as sharp. And what's happened is enough of those cases have happened where people have started to take notice, right? So you have that, and you also have realtors who, as a whole, really don't love real estate investors. They think that we're, screwing them over somehow, which really we're not. But as these people get elected to office, right, like state legislatures, well, they're crafting bills to do away with wholesaling. I'll tell you this, the foundation of wholesaling, if you don't really understand what it is, hopefully you do, is the ability to assign a contract, right? And just real quick, I go out and I put Mrs. Smith's house under contract for $100,000, and then I'm going to sell it to my friend Carlos over here for $120,000. He's going to fix it up and sell it for $250,000, and I'm just assigning that contract to him, and I'm going to make the difference, right? The difference between 100 and 120, I'm going to make $20,000. Perfect. Well, the idea of assignments of contract, that's baked into our legal system all the way back to common law in England. So, I don't think they can do away with the ability to assign a contract, because every contract is assignable, and that's something that happens in all industries, not just real estate. So assignments of contract baked into common law, I don't think they can take that away. But where the regulations are coming in and affecting us is they're really, sort of chopping away at wholesaling and like marketing. Do you have to actually be the owner to sell a property? And technically in wholesaling, and this is why words really matter, we are never selling a property, we're selling a contract. But a lot of wholesalers are out there being cowboys, and they don't like to follow the rules, which is why they keep getting in trouble. Anyways, lots of regulations that are popping up, and it's starting to pop up faster and faster and faster, state by state. And at some point, it's just going to get to where it's so difficult to wholesale that you're just not going to be able to do it, or the penalty is going to be so stiff that you're just not going to be able to operate. It's going to be very difficult. So does that mean we're fucking cooked as investors? No. In my opinion, and from talking to some very experienced people in the industry, I'll give you my insight. I think in 3 to 5 years that the only way you're going to be able to be an investor is you're going to have to actually close on that property, right? You're going to have to go to Mrs. Smith. You're going to actually close on it, which means you're going to have the 100,000, right? You're going to have that money. And then, then I'm going to sell it to my end buyer. Now that I actually closed on it, maybe I can sell it for 130, but, I'm going to have to actually have the funds to close on it to then go ahead and resell it a week or two later to my end buyer. So what that's going to do is it's going to get rid of a lot of the fucking nitwits that are out there, right? Like a lot of the banana heads that are out there just skirting laws and screwing people over and putting stuff under contract and not closing. A horrible statistic about wholesalers is 45% of their deals don't ever close, right? Which means out of every 10 contracts they write, basically half of them never close. That's terrible, right? Because, our job as wholesalers is to make the situation better, right? We go to a seller who's in distress, and and then we don't ever close on that deal or we can't find an end buyer, then like we've made the situation worse, right? Like that person thought they were selling their property and they were moving on with life and getting out of this problem, and unintentionally, the wholesaler made it worse. And that's the type of stuff that's giving people a really bad reputation. And why did they not sell it? I don't know. Maybe they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They didn't know how to sell the deal. They didn't have a list of buyers. Maybe they contracted it too high, which is typically the case, right? Because they didn't understand how to ask the right questions, how to evaluate the condition of a property. They didn't understand what a buyer would be willing to pay. So where is it going? I think it's going to be so difficult to wholesale in the next, couple of years that they're just going to do away with it, and you're going to have the ability to close on the deal yourself. So does that mean that we're out of business? Well, a lot of people will be, and maybe that's going to be good, right? Because it's going to get rid of kind of all the banana heads that are out there in the market and clear the way for us serious investors, who really want to do the right thing and go out there and obviously help people and make money, right? Like, don't be confused. We're in this business to make money. So what is that going to mean? It means you're probably going to have some type of funding source, right? You're going to have to find somebody who can financially back you, or you're going to have to go get, some type of funding from an institution. Maybe you have good enough credit that you can get a line of credit from Bank of America, or, there are investor-driven lending houses out there who will lend on your deal, but, maybe they're going to take 15% interest. But if that's the only way you can do a deal, that's the only way you can do a deal. I would definitely expect some changes to be coming down the pike. We see it, month after month, that, every month or two, some state has some different regulation, and they're just closing in on wholesaling and trying to take as many of the avenues away from us as possible. So, that's my opinion. And, that's certainly from after talking to lots of really smart and rich, experienced people in our industry. Not trying to be Debbie Downer, just, understand that this is where things are going. So hopefully that helped you out a little bit. I'm not trying to depress you or run anybody out of the business, but just be prepared. If you have bad credit, start getting it right. If you're doing a bunch of deals, save some money, because at some point you're going to need actual cash to operate in this industry. So hopefully that helped. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. See you soon.